Hello and welcome to our 7th episode of Aging Well in Wadsworth. This is your life. And we're here right inside the Suprema Senior Center Cafe. My name is Lori Wilkinson and I'm excited to welcome our 7th guest and first guest of 2025, Crystal Wagner. Welcome.
Thank you.
So let's start with, where were you born and where did you grow up?
I was born in Twinsburg in 1945, and in second grade I moved to Hudson, and that's where I lived most of my younger life. Graduated from Hudson High School, went to Kent State, and pretty much that was most of the first part of my life.
Okay, so then where did life take you? Career, family, what happened next?
Well, I started working in the post office in 1967 and spent 33 years delivering mail.
Wow.
Retired in 2001, then spent 20 more years as a volunteer for Red Cross disaster relief. My first disaster was 9/11. From there on, I did 68 national disasters throughout the United States until I retired 20 years later.
That's incredible. So you were actually in New York.
I was in New York. I went to Katrina. I went to Wilma. I went to Sandy. And when I wasn't traveling, I was also working for the Red Cross for Summit, Portage, and Medina counties for the local fires and floods and things like that.
Wow, so you've seen so many fascinating things over the years. So that's a little bit about your career.
Mm-hmm.
How about family?
Well, I have 2 children. I have 8 grandchildren, and I have 2 3/4 great-great-grandchildren. My great-great-granddaughter will be born the first week of April.
Oh, congratulations. Wow. So you have quite the growing family.
I do.
That's so exciting. So, where were you stationed with the post office? Was it all in the same area?
Hudson. For 33 years.
33 years in
I was
Hudson.
the first female letter carrier in Hudson.
Wow. You go, girl.
And they didn't want to hire me. The postmaster said, well, you can work inside. I said, no, that isn't what I want to be. So, yeah, I was the first full-time post lady.
That's awesome. That is really, what a great career to retire from,
Mm-hmm.
and very meaningful. And I'm sure you saw lots of things change over the years.
Oh, yes.
So that was Hudson. So when did your life intersect with Wadsworth?
2021, right after COVID. I grew up in Hudson, then I moved to Cuyahoga Falls and spent 20 years there, and then another 20 years in Akron. And then we moved back I was a caregiver for my mother for 15 years. And when she passed away from COVID, then I moved to Rittman because my son and his family live in Rittman. And he wanted to keep an eye on me. So that's when I moved to Rittman.
That's awesome. So Rittman is just a mile down the road.
Yes, and when I moved to Rittman, I felt very isolated because I knew no one except for my family. And one day I saw something about Wadsworth Senior Center. And it said bingo, and I said, I'm there. So I came and I joined, and came for bingo, and then I started doing a little bit with the genealogy and some of the other things. And one day I was sitting here in bingo, and they were saying that they were going to open a new cafe, and they needed workers. And I thought, that might be something I can handle, because it was not a full-time job, and at that point I was having some major health problems, but I really couldn't stand sitting home all day. So I came and then I applied, and I've been working at the cafe ever since.
That is wonderful. We love having you there. So even though you don't live in Wadsworth, you're working in Wadsworth.
Yep.
So that is so important. The Suprema Cafe is where we're sitting right now, is the heart of the Suprema Senior Center, where it's open to the public. The food is so delicious. Homemade soup, specials of the day, breakfast, lunch. They're open 7:30 to 2, Monday through Friday. So what is your favorite thing about working in the cafe?
The people. Both the people that I work with, but also the people that are coming in every day. I really look forward to, I call them my folks. I've gotten to know so many of them, and it's really a family here. Everybody intersects with everybody else. We watch over for each other, and if one of us isn't here, then everybody else is asking, well, where's so-and-so, and where's so-and-so? Is he all right, or is she all right? So it's really a family atmosphere.
That's wonderful. And I order from the cafe quite often, and usually we can find you right there at the front register.
Yes.
Yes, and I need to mention that the cafe is operated, it was the Medina County Office for Older Adults, and they just changed their name to Medina County Senior and Adult Services.
I'm glad you can say that, because
Notice I said it slowly.
Yes.
So, well, we love having you part of the Senior Center, and you were a member way before working at the cafe. So, is there anything else you're involved with in the community?
Yes. Well, it's back in my community in Cuyahoga Falls. I manage a blessing box through my church. We used to have a feeding program too, but that one has kind of gone away, and I have a major blessing box that I manage. So I'm going back and forth from here to Cuyahoga Falls quite frequently during the week, making sure that that's full.
That is awesome. So what is a blessing box?
A blessing box, in our case, is a double-sided cooler that doesn't cool anymore, that somebody gave us, and I keep it full with food, basic essentials like toiletries, toilet paper. That's a big one because that goes as fast as I put it in there. We even put some dog food and cat food in there, because a lot of the folks that are on the street have pets that are their comfort animals, and so that's all there. So I just make sure that that's kept full, so that the folks, and I have probably maybe 30 either families or individuals that use it every week to offset whether they're getting SNAP. I have a lot of folks that are on the streets themselves, so they depend on it.
That's amazing. I did not know that about you. What a big heart. That is awesome. Well, what would you say, you're an active senior. I know you still participate in programs here, but you're working. What is your advice for aging well?
Stay engaged. And that means even if you're homebound, in the bed bound, stay engaged. Here at the center, there's a lot of Zoom classes that you can participate in, and you do have a lot of folks that do that. But don't isolate yourself. It's so important that you just keep moving in some way. I've always lived with the premise that the only way that you become an invalid is you do it to yourself. So
those are very wise words, Crystal. That they really are. And I'm glad you mentioned our Zoom program, because that is very true. So if, we do have seniors that might be housebound because of a surgery, or maybe just physically they are, just for whatever reason. Or we've even had seniors caring for a loved one tune in from a bedside of their loved one that's in the hospital. And then we also are serving a lot of seniors that are on the go. So I know Dr. Dan this week, we had a program and we had a couple that zoomed in from their car because they were in between appointments. And people take vacations, so you can take the Suprema Senior Center. We're known as a senior center without walls just about everywhere. And I love that you say that. And this WCTV that produces this show for us, they are a great way for seniors to stay connected because you can go to watchwctv.com and tune into any of our programs. We often record programs, and there's so many other things in the community to tune in right there.
And don't forget that you can always go to our website and see what's happening. So there's bound to be something here that will be something that you'll be interested in. That we keep getting more and more and more classes, and it's kind of I feel kind of bad sometimes because there's so many classes I would like to be participating in, but now that I'm working, I can't.
Well, I understand that. Our membership is expanding. Our programming has expanded, which is exciting. But you're not the only one. We now have so many programs, you kind of have to pick and choose at different parts of the day, whether you're going to participate in this or participate in that, right? So
I'm always glad when there's one that's at 2 o'clock because I get off work at 2, so I can still stay active that way.
That's awesome. Well, we'll have to keep that in mind. And well, let me ask you, how has the Suprema Senior Center impacted your life?
That's an easy one. When I moved to Rittman, I said I was feeling very, very isolated. And when I came here the very first time, a lot of times when you're going to a strange place, you feel very outsider. And I came through the door, and Ron was standing over there. And he's an official greeter to everybody that comes in that thing.
It's very
and
true.
He made me feel so welcome. And right from that very first day, I was no more an outsider, and I wasn't living in my head. I had people that were interested in me, and I was interested in them, and that's a wonderful thing for most seniors, because that's what happens to a lot of seniors when they're getting older. They isolate themselves and they stop living long before they stop living.
Thank you for sharing that story. We'll have to make sure Ron sees this, of course. But he is one of, we have over 100 volunteers, and that is something we thrive on, is having that positive vibe, right? So when you come through the door, we want people to feel exactly what you described as feeling welcome. I know when I go to a new place, I have the same feeling, like, okay, you feel a little bit, out of place. Am I going to be welcomed? All of that. And we want our volunteers, and our senior members are very welcoming too, just to have that place, because as you know, there are people here every day. We're almost like a second home to them. And it is just a wonderful asset to have in the city of Wadsworth. We're very thankful for our administration and the support from City Council, and just, to make this happen. And of course, the Wadsworth Older Adults Foundation, they're our 501c3 and support us in so many ways. So is there anything else you would like to share or say at all?
No, I don't think so. I think we've pretty much covered. I will say, as a plug for the cafe, you don't have to be a senior to come and have a really good lunch. It's open to the public, and our food is very good and reasonably priced.
Really, really is. So tell us a little bit, let's talk about the cafe. Okay. What is one of your favorite menu items?
Yesterday's meatloaf.
Okay.
We had a meatloaf dinner. Every day we have one hot meal that is a complete meal. We have lots of sandwiches and we have lots of salads and things like that, but every day we have one hot meal. And meatloaf is kind of the favorite of everybody around here. I think yesterday we sold 40 meatloaf dinners.
That's amazing. That is pure comfort food.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of those daily specials, they are a comfort food, and along with the soups. I know for me personally, the soup of the day, I'm so excited. Okay, what is it going to be? Because let's face it, it's the end of February. We're in the middle of getting ready for March, but we're in the middle of soup season, and it's just another wonderful.
Well, we have two ladies in the back, Ruby and Jessica, and they make all of our soups. Everything that we sell here is made here on site. It isn't catered. It's made here, and I never know for sure what's going to come out of the kitchen, because Ruby has brought so many new things to the kitchen. When I come to work at 10 o'clock in the morning, I go in there and say, okay, tell me what all this stuff is, because I'm not used to some of the things that she's making. But they really are, both of them are really an asset to our cafe.
Yes, I agree. The whole cafe, Suprema Cafe staff, you all are so amazing. And you can find your menu. You have a menu that's there all the time, and you can find that on our website. If you go to the City of Wadsworth and go under departments, we're Suprema Senior Center. If you Google Suprema Senior Center, really brings you there, but there's a little tab where you can go to cafe, and but like you said, in addition to that menu, what you see there is daily specials, the soup specials, the daily specials. There's usually a sandwich or wrap special.
Or special bakery.
Special bakery items. Yes, they're so good. And another place to find the daily specials would be the cafe's Facebook page, which would be MCSAS, MCSAS Suprema Cafe. That stands for Medina County Senior and Adult Services. So if you go to MCSAS, SAS Suprema Cafe, you will find I know Jessica tries to post the daily specials almost daily, and then we also have it at the front desk. So someone could call us at 330-335-1513. We get those calls every day. What is the soup of the day? What is the hot meal of the day?
And we've been talking about lunches, but our breakfasts are really incredible. We have a full breakfast menu every day also, and breakfast starts at 7:30.
7:30, yes. So for those early breakfast eaters, that is wonderful. People come in just for the breakfast. I know there's one of the Wadsworth, I think class of 66, you can find them here for breakfast every Wednesday. And it is a great place to stop in. A lot of people from the Y, you're working out, you can come get a healthy breakfast. One of the member benefits from being a member of the Suprema Senior Center, of course, is it's free for anybody 55 or better. But with your key tag that you get, your member key tag that goes right on a keychain, you can get free unlimited hot coffee or hot tea with any purchase in the cafe, which is so generous of the cafe. We so appreciate that. I have to give a thank you to the cafe. Every month we have a monthly birthday party. And celebrate members that's their birthday month, and the cafe generously donates the cake, and Ruby makes the cake.
Ruby makes the cake.
It's delicious, and I can't believe it. She has different flavors. You know, it's not just one kind of cake. There's usually choices.
Raspberry, pecan.
And people look forward to their birthday month where we can celebrate
And we
them.
also usually have a choice of sugar-free desserts too, so that a lot of our folks do have a problem with sugar, and we try to make sure that they have things that they can eat also.
Yes, I have noticed that. I think that is great. Another wonderful thing about the cafe is this is the county's lunch voucher program that serves Wadsworth seniors that qualify, that are 60 or better, and that is run through the Medina County Senior and Adult Services. And seniors can qualify for so many lunch vouchers every month. And no one knows if they're paying with a voucher, if they're just a regular paying customer. And it's nice, they get that hot meal of the day multiple times a month. Or they have a choice, right? What else can they choose?
If they're not getting the hot meal, then they can either have a soup and sandwich or a soup and salad. And our sandwiches and our salads are very generous, so they're a good meal. And we also have started a new program. We have a Pay It Forward program where folks can come in, pay for a meal or pay for a sandwich or soup or whatever, and then we put it on the board so that anybody coming in that really doesn't have the money for it for that day or for whatever reason, they can pull one of those off the board and then they can eat for free, and nobody needs to know where it's coming from.
I love that. That is something Jessica started, and right on the board it says "Be kind." It's our "Be Kind" board, I like to say, and it is so nice. So if anybody in the community is looking for a way to give back, purchase a meal, hot sandwich, whatever, put that receipt on the board, and then someone in need will grab that. And like you said, it's just very discreet. You guys are very discreet. They get whatever is on that receipt. And is it utilized very often?
It really is. Both ways. We get a lot of folks that do pay it forward, and we have folks that come in that are just needing a little bit of help, and so they just see what they want off the board, and there's usually breakfast there, there's sandwiches there. Some people give the whole meal there, and so they can have almost anything that we have on our menu.
That is so wonderful, and it really goes with the whole Be Kind Wadsworth initiative that the school started. We've joined in with them, so that's just wonderful. We appreciate you, Crystal, and the staff team at the cafe, all that you guys do. Thank you for being one of those smiling, welcoming faces. You're giving back because you felt so welcomed when you first came here, so now you're welcoming first-time people almost every day.
Just about.
Yeah, we have new people coming through. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure getting to hear more about you. And I wanted to share, if you're listening and you're a senior living here in Wadsworth or working like Crystal, we'd love to share your story. So contact me, Lori Wilkinson, and we can schedule to have you on a next episode of Aging Well in Wadsworth. This is your life. Thank you.
You are watching WCTV, Wadsworth Community Television.